me.
How old?
Probably a little younger, maybe. I'm not sure.
Awful. So
But
sorry.
he had been,
Sick.
yeah, a few years ago, something, I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, but then I think he was getting that road.
What, did I hear about what? You started to say.
All right, everybody ready?
Yeah, it's not quite.
Well, he keeps talking.
Yeah, it's
Just, oh, that's me.
That thing is strong, it's always wrong. It's always
What, did you
slow.
talk it down, or?
It's been slow for every time, a long time in commission. All right, everyone, good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 26th meeting of the Preston County Commission. And at this time, everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the record show that all three commissioners are present. Commissioner Stone, Commissioner Price, Commissioner Smith, and we don't have anyone from the public to be recognized. Sheriff's not here yet, so I have a motion to approve the bills.
Move we approve the bills and pay the bills that are properly presented and approved.
Second.
Motion on the floor in a second to approve and pay the bills. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Yes. From the assessor's office. Don't have anything as far as taxes and stuff. It doesn't say.
do.
Oh, I'm sorry, it is. Yeah, I apologize. It's got it out, I see, but it's got the office being closed now.
Right.
But yes, tax
Yeah.
correction list.
The office will be closed this Thursday, October the 28th, from 1 to 2:30
Okay. Good.
for training.
All right, and tax correction list. There. I assume it's just clerical
Yeah,
errors or
variety
people
of-
just.
Errors, amounting to $984.48.
84.48.
Make a motion to approve the tax correction list as it's been presented by the assessor.
Second.
Commissioner on the floor, second to approve the tax correction list. Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And, here we are. Okay. Well, hello, I'll let you catch your breath.
Hello, am I up now?
Yes, you're up now.
Am I late? Okay, so the sheriff's office applied for a grant with Homeland Security.
Okay.
For one of Butch's computer programs.
Okay.
The cost went up exponentially
It doesn't surprise me,
So,
everything,
like-
all the costs are going up here lately.
from like 18,000 to 27,000.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got a grant for that. And a grant for a new phone recorder. So the total of the grant was $38,120. And I need you to sign the award. Also, my apologies that I didn't make you guys aware that we were applying. There's a couple other ones that they had already applied for. We haven't heard anything on them.
Okay. Yeah, and this doesn't.
I'd go ahead and listen in one of the meetings, just when you're here for budget revision and you haven't heard anything, bring those forward so they know what's out there being considered.
Yeah, this doesn't require math essays, so that's good.
No.
All right.
Okay, just a little question, I'm curious. One of them was for a program that Butch uses to gather information from a phone. The other one is, what was it?
The other grants that we applied for?
No,
The new
one
recorder.
in
The
that
new telephone
report, okay.
recorder. The one that we have downstairs was 911's when they left,
Okay, so it's a landline
Yes.
recorder, okay.
a telephone line.
Yeah.
And it's more actually what we need. This one is it goes 4 to 10 channels, I think.
Mhm.
Whereas that one downstairs had everything that 911 had.
Mhm.
and was way more than we needed, but it needs upgraded. It's been here for a long time,
Well, yeah, obviously.
so.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm hoping that, as I understand it, the Homeland Security, that law enforcement has a special touch there,
Yeah.
that they get have more opportunities for
The
grants.
other two that they applied for, one was for license plate readers, and then the other one was for some updated SRT equipment for the response team for, when they're serving specialized warrants and stuff, more gear for them.
Good.
But we haven't heard anything on those.
Well, hopefully.
And I think there's 2 places on that for you to sign, the
I
front
see
page
this one for sure.
and the last page maybe.
Okay. I was kind of going through it, and I
Sorry.
saw that one. That one was obvious. Okay. It's the grant administrator.
I don't know who that is,
No, either. That's right.
but I meant to mark those and I didn't.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, the one I could see,
Yeah, the other one is our, I actually have the recorder here. It's a 4-channel, but it's one that we can install like on our computers. And like Chrissy can have that access instead of going to the basement and making a tape and pulling it off and all that. It's just,
Take the device.
yes. It was 10,000.
I think I knew where it's at. Should be here. Because this is where it's to the one company.
Yeah,
Yeah, for the gray shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it says sign here for gray, for the quote and all effective date and all that. So that should be it. Okay, gotcha. Motion to authorize the president to sign this grant award.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion on the floor, second, authorize to sign this grant for the Homeland Security Grant. Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes,
Yes.
I chaired this, so, yeah.
Can you give me your cookie?
I almost couldn't see you, it was going down.
that's a good one.
I missed that.
It's a good thing you gave me your cookie.
Yeah.
You're looking for it.
All we gave you was cookies.
So you're running this.
You want to die, Dave?
I thought I would, for my birthday, if I were you. Okay,
What made you change your mind? Was it out?
The pages apart here, right?
Just sign me out.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I got you. Got you.
it's not on the agenda, so I didn't. I didn't do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not on the agenda.
Alright.
I don't know where it is.
Brings us down to the PIVs. Mr. Accept.
move we approve the PIVs October 14th through 20th from the clerk.
Second,
Commissioner Warren, second to accept and approve the PIVs. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Stone?
yes.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the estate settlements October 13th through October 13th, 2021, in the name of Charles P. Wilson Jr.
Second.
Commissioner Warren, second to approve the state settlement. Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes. And we have the fiduciary commissioners report from Mr. Woodruff. For the third quarter. Let's do that. Accept that into the record. Okay. We have no old business at this time, and under new business, we do have a request from the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 977, to have a Veterans Day ceremony on the courthouse lawn. And the application here, if anybody wants to take a look at it, and I can go and approve it.
Make a motion to approve the application to use the courthouse lawn by the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 977, for a Veterans Day ceremony that will take place November 11th at 11 a.m.
Second.
For a second to approve this application, Commissioner Stone,
Yes.
Commissioner Price.
Yes.
Yes. All right, that brings us down to our administrator report.
She ran away.
I was gonna say, I thought that she was gone. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just read this. Haha. There will be a candlelight vigil helping us on the lives of all those lost to domestic violence at Browns Park on this Friday at 6:45.
I'm sorry. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, the first item of business we have is a memorandum of understanding with the family court facilities. This is basically the agreement that we just renew every year. They're not asking for anything additional. Costs will remain the same. If you need the exact cost per month, if you request that from Angie, she does those invoices for us. Basically, square footage is the same as it's been since, probably 2008. So I just asked that the president be authorized to sign the memorandum of understanding between the county commission and the Supreme Court to provide family court facilities.
Yeah.
I believe they're about 2 places. Just make sure. Yes.
Okay.
One's a notary. I'm sorry. You bring your stamp?
Yes.
Okay. So the yellow one is the notary. You will sign here.
Okay.
Make a motion to authorize the president to sign, we have the notary and then.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Make a motion for the president to sign the memorandum of understanding for the family court facilities.
Second.
Commissioner Thorne, second, authorize the president to sign this agreement. Commissioner Stone,
Yes.
Commissioner Price.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to say B because we need to have a brief executive session on that conservation agreement. On C, the update on the pre-bid for the stream work. We had a pre-bid, we had 6 contractors as well as some other individuals there. That was held last Thursday. All bid documents are due by 4:30 on Monday, November the 1st. Your bid opening is set for 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday. We anticipate a bid opening and award. All work is to be completed before Thanksgiving. It's 2 50-hour work weeks. All contracts have been corrected and sent to all the bidders. Real pleased that we had, and local, and some from Preston County, some from neighboring Montague County, so we're pleased with that. The next item I have, so actually no action on that, that'll all be taken next week. The next item I have is to establish the EMS Advisory Committee, which Dr. Conley, this is just official action to make this volunteer committee a arm of the county commission. I'd like to ask that the commission consider establishing the EMS Advisory Committee to assist the county commission in moving forward with enhancement of sustainable revenue for EMS. And the members suggested are Justin Wolf, representing OEM 911, Dr. Fred Conley, Dr. Marcia, I hope I pronounced that right, Downey. She's also an MD. She also is the medical advisor for the EMS squads in the county. 2 representatives, which we do not have names for yet, from the newly formed Preston County EMS Association. Prosecuting Attorney Jay Shea, which will help them with legal matters, and Tim Kelly, CPA, who will be helping them with finances. That's a total of 7 members. Also, Commissioner Price is a part of the Advisory Committee as a resource. Basically, what they'll be bringing forward to you as recommendations and suggestions based on the expertise of the members of the committee. We'll bring forward more information as we get more established, but we need, in order for them to be working as an arm of the county commission, you need to officially enact them by an order.
Have they, you said 2 representatives which have not been appointed yet, so we have established the new Preston County EMS Association board. I mean, they have gotten their new group and their,
I can only tell you that the new group is in the process of creating bylaws and charter
Right.
and, but they will join this group. I think there's some action being, some individuals are working on some things, but before any recommendations will come to the county commission, this board will be full. But those are the people, they had not met yet, and that was the reason. But we need to get them working because they already have some information, but that's my understanding. The best thing you can do is to reach out to, do you know who is functioning as the head of the Preston County EMS Association in their development
Well,
phase?
The president of the association that probably will transfer over to the new group. The old county ambulance association was really non-functioning, but legally at least. But the president of that group is Kelly Fike, who is a medic here in Preston County.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that as the new one starts up, that she will be.
If you be more,
It'll be established by the, it'll have to be
They'll
established
let
by
us
the
know who
bylaws.
they choose.
Yeah, because they'll have to, once they establish their bylaws, they'll then have
if
to
you
take
be
a
more
vote.
comfortable, I mean, these were just the names, if I mentioned in an email, these were the names brought forward. If you would rather just establish a committee based on this, that you'll have a representative from OEM 911, that you'll have 2 representatives giving you medical recommendations, then you'll have 2 representatives from the newly formed association, then you would have someone representing legal and someone representing finance.
I
So if
think,
you'd rather prefer to establish it that way, that's fine, and that you have a commissioner setting as a resource, not just as a resource.
I don't know what we would gain by that, but if you think that that would be the best way, then that's fine. I just think that those people have officially agreed to participate with this movement and advise the commission. They have individually done that. Now, we could make, if you felt better, we could make it that there would be 2 representatives unnamed at this point from the county ambulance groups, if that would.
I understand the commissioner's concern was we were naming everyone else, but didn't have names to present for you today. So there's a couple ways you could do it. Once you establish the names, you can bring them back and vote on those people. It's just, in order for them to really start
they can't.
being more aggressive with their work, they really need to be officially established. That's
Yeah, because they can't establish bylaws or anything. Or do
Well,
that.
no, this committee works for the county commission.
Right.
It does not work for the Preston County EMS
Oh,
Association.
yeah.
They are separate and apart.
Right.
And they really are an advisory committee. They may have a chair and those kind of things, but really only they're bringing forward is suggestions. They have no decision-making power other than to bring forward for your advice and consent. Any way you want to do it, doesn't matter.
I have no problem doing it.
I don't have a problem doing it either, I just want to make sure that the development of the new EMS association isn't going to take so long that those people are not going to be a part officially of the process that's going to take place by the advisory committee. To me, that's kind of important, so.
That, I didn't get any indication like that when he brought it forward to you at the last meeting. Do you want me to clarify that, and put it on for next week?
No, we can go ahead, I just wanted to
I understand.
make sure, because I'm sure whoever is, if they're not already, I kind of feel like this is, probably already set into motion, we just have to make it official maybe, and
Yeah, these people, I'm assuming the two EMS people probably have met with us too, but, you know, these folks have been meeting for a few months and so, and they've agreed to serve in this capacity. So whatever your comfort is, it's fine.
make a motion.
Yeah, sorry.
Say,
I didn't make the motion.
Oh, I thought
We
you
need
said,
to make a
I made
motion.
the motion. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I apologize. I thought you said I made the motion. I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right, then we don't have a second because we don't have a motion to begin with. So, someone would like to make the motion to establish the Ems Advisory Committee at this time, I would appreciate it.
well, I'll move that we appoint this committee as set forth with representative from 911 being Justin Wolf, with Dr. Conley, with Dr. Downey, who is the county medical director, two representatives from the EMS organizations in the county, CPA Tim Kelly, and the prosecuting attorney or his representative, I'm sure will sometimes be the case. That they be appointed and advise the county commission on ways we can assist with the EMS. And to perform accountability too, because they will also be meeting to look over the response times and that sort of information, which I'm sure they'll give us all the other things that they'll be going to. That's my motion.
Second.
Motion for a second to establish the Ems Advisory Committee as named. Commissioner Price.
Yes.
Commissioner Stamey.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
The next item I have for you is a request to apply for a records management and preservation board grant. Lisa couldn't be here, it's the day after grand jury, so I'm presenting for her. Basically, this grant request does require a 10% match. So it's $15,404, so you can figure on if awarded the whole amount. Sometimes it's just partial amount, so just so you know, you have a commitment to that. This particular grant would enable her to use her staff. It's under two different categories, personnel, and the others is storage and shelving. She's requesting to use $10,000, the maximum amount for using her current staff to scan, I believe it's 2005 through 2016 civil cases, and then to get shelving and storage boxes that once those items are scanned, they'll be put in the appropriate storage location using the shelving in the boxes. So I ask that the president be authorized to sign.
I make the motion to authorize the president to sign the grant application for the Circuit Clerk Records Management Grant.
Second.
Motion for a second to authorize the president to sign this records management preservation grant. Commissioner Stamey.
Yes.
Commissioner Price.
Yes.
Yes.
The next item I have is, I'd like to move forward with putting the roof on the drive-through with Action Construction LLC. The amount is $1,950. We've already brought the materials. I'd like to request to move forward immediately on that, so we can get that under roof taken care of.
Right, for the weather gets
Yeah,
even
yes,
worse.
sir. I gave him a nod that I thought that would go okay, but I wanted to present it for you today.
That's right.
So do you have any objection for me to move forward? Okay. Then the next is, we have received notification that starting July 2022, that the per diem for daily costs for the regional jail will go from $48.25 per day to $54.13. Just for your knowledge as we
That's
prepare.
about 11% increase.
Just always as we prepare for the budget. I will say that looking at your budget right now with however many months we're into it, we're still in good shape. You know, we anticipated $1 million. I can guarantee you cannot move off that number,
Right.
and we'll see that increase. for budgeting purposes.
If we budget $1 million,
Yes, sir.
assuming that it might take that much, then this increase adds $100,000 to our bill.
About 97, if I do it based on what you spent last year, yeah, well, you're probably looking about 70,000 over last year. However, it all fluctuates. I feel comfortable that we did the right thing in putting our $1 million, and then you get comfortable with having at least that amount of money in your budget for regional jail costs. Anticipating that we were a little bit unsure when that per diem might move forward, and now since we know for sure that it's not coming until the end of the fiscal year, but that was one of the reasons that we wanted to make sure you were at $1 million, because we were uncertain when they might enact that.
Well, at least this time, as much as it pains me to have to pay an extra 12%, at least they're giving us a little heads up instead of waiting until halfway into the fiscal year after we already did
That was
the
a
budget.
request of the County Commissioners Association, and all the discussion was that we made sure, because that was what was happening to us last year, that's why we were uncertain about what they were gonna do, because we requested that they let us know prior to a budget year, but that wasn't, I guess,
That didn't
exactly
happen.
promised. Well, now it is. They have
Yeah.
fulfilled their, the County Commission Association request, that now we're well in advance of a budget year, knowing that you can anticipate that cost.
So when we continue to request for them to absorb the cost of the regional jail,
Yeah.
the state, and take the burden off the counties?
But,
That's
that's a repeat
Yeah.
request.
It is, but
That's on the top of the list for the.
Well, I'll be honest with you, that there's more and more people talking about it, not just at county commissioner level, but other people that are talking about it, that are running for delegates and stuff like that, and potentially governor. So I think having talked about it, it's made it a little clearer that it's such a burden on the county that maybe they'll take it up in the future. Hopefully.
Well, plus, you got the personal property tax issue that's in the wind, and a lot of moving targets with the county commission's budgets going on.
I'd just like to go back to B and ask for a brief, information only, on, I will have, hopefully, another template on a contract. This particular contract is with the Conservation Agency, and just need a brief moment of your time to explain one portion, and then, it's nothing I'm asking you to sign
All
today,
right.
okay?
Motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Motion for a second to go into executive session. Commissioner Singh.
Yes.
Commissioner Price.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Does he need to sign? I don't know. Was this from a place?
I mean, it looks like.
Where did they sign? Your granting agency. I just figured she was there. Pardon? Well, but is this this is the lobbying, so, strike that. Yep.
Let's go.
Well, I don't know. We still have some today. And about redistricting government. So I can share that. Some streams coming
Is Reiki computer program there? No, yeah. Is that like the superintendent's, what they have in Montana, they call it, it's rarely.
Something like that, I don't know what it does, you'd have to ask Butch, because I have no clue what it does.
The sheriff would be willing to do the entire version of the issues that you talked about.
I don't know when,
I'll leave this,
Yeah. email,
Thank you.
But you need to do it when it's raining. Because it makes more, right?
I figure I'll get one of them full of
nobody knows.
So did you apply concrete?
No,
Yes,
I don't.
relatives, I don't know.
No unclaimed property, no unknown cash.
I'm not even sure what's.
But I
The
can keep
paper's a
working.
deed and I can just like use them.
Last page, fix it, because it just.
One time I had an uncle.
You're right, I don't.
So I was with the boys, and they had one on tax refund that nobody claimed or something.
Teen Williams, oh my God.
Then tell you what, you know.
No, fair enough. About Christmas.
Which one even think Halloween?
Oh, long time.
I know they had the stuff out a month ago, because this woman was buying sand and I went to tackle her. I'm gonna tree, I don't even know. If all else fails, I've got an axe and a chainsaw. I've been wanting that tree beside the house going for years. If I bought this stuff, it would just be another unfinished project in my closet.
So I'm going to.
I make the motion to come out, they second it, unless they want to stay out.
The next, sorry, I'd like to move down to miscellaneous correspondence for a moment. Sure. Still waiting to hear from the judge about getting all the parties together about the television in the courtroom. We haven't forgotten about it, just trying to coordinate the Supreme Court, an engineer, and the judge. The other one is, I think the clerk has a few things for you on redistricting. It wasn't on our agenda because we were unsure.
Yeah, I saw the email.
Maps, and also I think she wants to reconsider the email that she sent, so I'm just gonna give her, and then I'll come back to my budget division.
All right.
So, of course, just yesterday I got an email where some of the counties are contracting with this other agency and, you know, so they are taking on a whole lot of counties. And that is a big job, but I believe we can get this done
quicker than what the other company could. And, so I've reconsidered. But, you know, I do have money in my budget to hire someone, and I'm gonna get someone and maybe just hire them temporary to help me through some of this mapping stuff, where we have to pick the voters that need to be moved, and we can look at two different people. I mean, somebody look at this map, you know, I'm looking at this map, and we can work together. I just don't have the staff available to commit to working all day on something like this. So, next week on the agenda, I'll ask for your consent to hire someone. And, but I've been forwarding to the 911 contractor, mapping contractor, I guess, I want to call him. And I've been forwarding all the information that I've been finding, and yesterday I got an email, and he was like, you know, this is good, we don't need this, because, so he seems to act like he's got it under control, and,
That's Scott.
yes.
Pretty sharp.
The question I had, now, the thing you had sent us, this is actually through WU, right?
Well,
GIS
Connie's
Technical
familiar
Center.
with that.
I've worked with the BBU many years.
It's that, and one of the gentlemen that you named,
Kevin Kuhn.
Kevin's the one that sent that. But I mean, they're doing this for several counties. And, you know, I brought a map to kind of show you a lot of what the changes in the delegate districts. And so it cuts through several precincts. So those precincts are gonna have to be, so the folks above the line here are gonna have to move somewhere else to vote. And the same down below. So there's several of those changes. But we can work hard and get it done before the last minute time.
Now, does Scott, did they give us, I can't remember now, it's been a while back, did they give us like a contract set up?
They just said they would
Okay, that's
just
what I was
bill
thinking.
as they go.
Okay, that's what I was
Because they're
thinking.
already under contract.
All right.
But,
911, okay.
Commissioner, you have a invoice, I believe it's in here for, some work that's done, and, because I was uncertain where to take it from, I took it from your budget
Okay.
of this go round because it was uncertain.
Okay.
What, I thought we were moving in perhaps another contract, so this go around, we just, took it out of your budget.
And maybe I need to reach out to Scott and say, hey, what's your estimate?
Well,
the
the thing
deadlines
is,
too.
that's what needs to be done. Ask Scott, what is the estimate of the cost? Because this has got a cost package in it. It's got to take away. So, I mean, I can clearly see for this, maybe not for us, but for this particular county, it's going to be $5,000 to do the whole thing.
The largest package, that's correct.
Yeah, and that's probably what we need is the bigger, large
do.
package, because it has the precincts and everything, and I'm not sure that's what it'd be. So we have that, and if he could give us a cost, so we can prepare the two and go from there. And also, because this has a set date of when it will be in the clerk's hand and everything like this, and it'll be done by this time and this time and this time, that way you have plenty of time to get the maps out and get notification out to everybody.
It's
So-
not plenty of time.
Well, I know it's not plenty of
That's why I
time, but
don't-
you have a set
Yeah,
time,
you
you
do.
have a
Alright.
concrete
Okay.
time, it isn't a floating, okay, oh, it'll be manana.
I got you.
No,
Well,
it's
you have to remember,
today,
you have
and it
some
will be
published
today,
dates
and
out
that's it.
there. You have some published dates out there.
Mhm.
So
Right.
maybe our first mode of attack is to get a hold of Scott and say, can you meet the published dates?
Yeah,
And if not, we need the new dates. And, you know, my
Mhm.
only concern is that, you know, that if we get that information quickly, because the longer we don't do that, do they become available as well?
it
And I
keeps
think-
shifting, yeah, and then it messes everything up, so, yeah, we need to get something or if you can get something back to us by next week. I mean, we really, this is
I'll
getting
I'll have
short
something in a few
window.
days. I'm
Did
sure.
you check with them, Linda, that if we need to vote on
I
this
didn't
next week?
reply.
Oh,
I didn't get a reply.
Did I understand correctly, Linda, that you have the funding in your budget for the extra temporary help that you're looking for?
Yes.
And,
Well, it's a regular salary, so I would just, do it, I would just,
Okay.
and then the other was for, to hire someone to assist, that money's in the budget also?
well, I would take that from the employee that I haven't hired. I would take it from that.
You have Laura, can you handle Laura in this?
Laura's an 09,
Okay.
but,
I just wanted to make sure.
and I have money for Laura, she's in a different position.
But you would still need Scott,
Oh, yeah.
so you need
Yeah.
Scott plus the employee.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, that was my.
But I mean, I've
understanding.
already got,
Yeah.
the money in my line.
But not for Scott.
Oh, no.
But we need to find out what Scott,
Correct.
what the cost is before. we-
And now that he has had, he's already, he's dove into this enough, I think, that
Uh-huh,
he totally understands the whole picture now.
okay.
Because he has not dealt with it before, but there were a lot of things that were mentioned that is helpful, and he sounded very confident, okay, we got this.
Yeah.
So it was a matter of, do we set up do we wait till he comes to Preston County on his regular scheduled day, or do we just do a virtual work day? So that's kind of what we're at right now with Scott, and then the estimate of the cost.
Right.
Because initially, I think at budget time, we discussed this, and I mentioned, last time it cost a couple $1,000. Well, that's gonna cost more than that this time. I didn't.
Well, I mean, he's really good.
Yes, he is.
He's really good, you know.
He's also very familiar with our current map and,
Yeah.
Now, how accurate, he'll be straight up with you on, here's the reasons that I find it difficult to give you a estimate. But, I mean, I'm sure he'll attempt that, but, I think that sometimes when it's an unknown, they estimate high so that it doesn't matter how much time it takes. So, that could be what the other people did too. They could,
I know,
Kevin, from WVU, and, so I think he offered to give Scott any help and guidance, because, I think he realizes, Kevin realizes, they've got their hands full and everybody's wanting it right now.
Yeah. Well, it took so long to get the census information to begin with, and then it
That's
just pushed everything down.
But Kevin's been very helpful, talking to the clerks.
He is,
Yes,
yeah.
he's been,
And Scott is excellent. He does a nice job.
so I'll come back with you next meeting, and or I'll email also in the meantime, I'll find out, so Kathy know.
Yeah, because we need some kind of cost estimate and time, make sure.
Time
we meet the time. That's the big thing, the time. Can you meet the time?
It would also be helpful, and I know he's under contract with OEM, but it would be very, very helpful to have a contract for future
Yeah.
projects. You're gonna have redistricting every 10 years, so it might be helpful if you could get some kind of contractual agreement on this particular item for you.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
Okay,
All right, Linda, thank you.
and I brought a map in case you want to glance at it.
Okay, cool. Take a look at it. All right, Kat, you got anything else?
Sure. Since the clerk is here, I do have, as your motion, if I remember it correctly, about your pay raises was that you wanted to make it retroactive and hopefully come in that November 15th pay.
Mhm.
Then we realized that we had the overtime issue.
Mhm.
So, we have prepared, I prepared your budget revision absent that, and that's the 12 months. I will tell you that your first figure was about 250, this is 255, and let me explain to you why. Number one is rounding. Number two is, it was an error on my part that I had, two deputies, I believe at 6%, and I had to change that. It was, I guess when I was doing the formula, I did pick those two up. So your total budget revision for just the salaries of a 12-month period, we okay? We okay? You confirmed
Yes.
all these now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is $255,239. Now, this does not include any overtime. Now, what does this do to your contingencies? What this does to your contingencies at the 249 and some change, I don't remember exactly what it was, you had about 16, you're at 13. So, plus a little, I don't have exact figures, but just telling you, you're at about 13. So, you have 13 today, you have 13,000 over and above your 5%, which is 436,000 plus. So I was unsure if the clerk had her information for you today, but I know that this is a lot of work for payroll, so if you're giving us the nod to move forward, knowing how much that overtime may cost you, then we just need to give that information.
And I have a very good estimate of the additional time. Other than there's a couple little clinkers in there that I need to work with Mary on. But the salary part is $14,039. But with the benefits that go with that, it's a total of $16,548. The additional, which is the extra time and the overtime, some of the hourly.
So we're going like 2,500, 3,000 under our 5% with that.
Well, I'm not keeping track of that, and I'm just telling you what I got
Well,
here.
I mean, it's all ballpark because, close, but,
Yes, sir.
so
If these-
we're awful close to our 5%.
If these expenditures are 16 plus and you got 13 plus, not hard
Yeah.
to do that.
I'm good with that. That's good, and everybody can get that raise retroactively. So we need to have a motion. Do we need to retract the other one?
I need the clerk's help on this. No, sir. If the only budget revision I'm presenting to you under me is for 12 months at the salaries you all requested. Okay? We do not have a budget revision today because I was unsure of the numbers.
Well, and I want to be sure before, that the last payroll is in the box that you approved today. So I just wanted to do some verification before I tell you exactly.
So you want us to wait?
No,
Oh,
Well, I do not have a budget revision for you that encompasses it all. So if you're wanting a budget revision that shows you in totality what we're doing, we can do it one of two ways. I can present this for your 12 months and we can have another budget revision that may make it harder for payroll because you're wanting it in one lump sum. So I just need some guidance because, and the clerk is more to guide you on payroll than myself, so.
What is the
Let's
easier
have
thing
some
to do,
guidance.
Linda?
I'm really,
You know our intention.
right, and the money is there to pay it. And, the process is to have it approved before you pay it. And we should,
Should we
so what is our
set a
meeting?
meeting, a special meeting on Thursday? Should we do that, the Thursday of this week to get the budget revision approved?
We're still looking for advice. I mean, you're the payroll guru.
Well, I certainly think it's very, very important, believe me,
Yeah, well,
to
yeah.
check and recheck because this is not for the faint of heart.
No.
It's a lot of information, it's a lot of figures.
Yeah.
So I think that it's in everybody's best interest to give the clerk additional time,
Mhm.
that we call a special meeting on Thursday. It will be a brief one. It will be for one item, and that will be the raises at whatever time you prefer that the clerk is available.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
what I was gonna suggest was, I kind of maybe heard the clerk in saying that we need an estimate also from Scott and how important and how hard it's gonna be for your office to get this done. So that could also be an item, if we can get with Scott before Thursday, that we could do that on Thursday and take care of that
Yeah.
also, so you have
If you
more
can get
time and we're not waiting till next Tuesday to get you guys working
That's a
on
good
what
idea.
you need to do. So I think that we should
We
set
can have
a
a
special
two-item-
meeting.
Two-item agenda.
Yeah,
What time would you like that?
9 o'clock, fine.
Good.
9 o'clock? Okay, because we'll have to post today.
Is that good, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Yeah, and if Scott can't by then we'll have it for next
Well, I
week.
think if we call it
But I
an
think if
emergency,
we-
I think
I
we
think
can
he
get
can
that
do that,
probably
yeah.
worked out.
I would agree. I like that idea to go ahead and get that taken care of. So
Well, it
we
just
can kill
allows
two
her-
birds with one stone and be done with it. So
Two
we
extra
move
working
forward.
days.
Okay, we'll set that for a special meeting on Thursday, 9 a.m., 2 items. It'll be the 20, 21, 22 pay raise, including, well, that's all we'll
The
say.
budget revision, yeah.
That will be retroactive. We'll do that. And also, we'll put redistricting on and try to have you a contract, or as much information as we can get
Correct,
you.
yeah. Even if we
Important
don't have a
things,
contract,
date,
they
and
give us some
money for
information.
that. So we'll try to get that for you. I had one other thing. Just a reminder that 11 a.m., we have a work session at the 911 Center for the after action for the music festival. And we, at that time, will be reviewing your mass gathering ordinance. We have had one request from a promoter about perhaps having a festival again at Marvin's next summer. And I informed him that the county commission is in process of reviewing and perhaps modifying your mass gathering permit. I promised him that we would have it, any action on that, available in plenty of time if he would like to submit an application. That's all I have.
All right. Commissioners have any comments? Commissioner Sneed, you have anything to share with us today?
Yes. I have received a lot of phone calls and messages concerning the resurfacing project that took place on the Aurora Pike. There's a lot of unhappy residents out there. I've been across it. I would say that it's not as good as it should be when you wait for over 20 years to get your road resurfaced, and it was in a horrific condition. I will say that when I drove across it, it is better than what it was. It was terrible, along with no lines, and there's now lines on it and whatnot. However, I cannot foresee that road holding up with the weather conditions that they have in Aurora and the amount of salt and treatment that it's going to get. I cannot see it holding up the way that it needs to. I'm not a professional. But I just wanted not only the residents in that area to know that I've taken those complaints and I have taken it on to the state level. I, for one, was very pleased with how our local DOH crews prepared the road
With
to
the
be
new
paved.
culverts and everything. I
They
think
put the new
did-
culverts
that was
in, they
good.
ditched,
They did a
they
good
mowed
job.
back the brush on the sides of the road. It's my understanding that there was a contractor that came in and paved the road. So I have forwarded my complaint along with various other complaints on to a much higher level and hope and highly encourage them to come just take a drive across it. Like I said, it's better than it was, but it's an injustice of tax dollars that went into that road, because it's not gonna hold up. I cannot foresee it holding up. So I've done,
It kind of looks like it was the base coat, and I kept expecting.
well, and that is a
coat to go on
tricky,
top of.
that's a tricky stuff to work with. That was a formula, if you recall, that, or a base that the state had come up with called Base 4, and it's a very porous, asphalt, to work with, is my understanding, and it was put down on 26, and it's different. It's made, to sustain very heavy trucks. You know, whether the longevity, we'll find out here in the near future if it holds up the way that it's supposed to. And it's my understanding that it's more a difficult product to put down as well, because of the mixed design. But nonetheless, I have forwarded that information on, and we'll see. We shall see.
Good.
Dave, do you have anything for us?
No, I mean, I had a meeting yesterday with the County Commissioners Association Board of Directors, working on a few things, and there was some discussion of the legislation that we'll be looking at some more. One of those being the jail bill and the personal property tax elimination. And so that was an interesting conversation. Nothing came out of it yet other than to move forward with our objections or suggestions. And that's what we'll be doing. I have another meeting in a month or so for that. So that's all I have, I think, right now.
All right. Okay. I have a meeting on Thursday afternoon with, dealing with the economic development plan, with the 5-year plan. The Region 6 is developing everything, so it's a Zoom meeting on that Thursday afternoon, so.
Oh, there was something with the regions, not just Region 6, but this change that the state is looking at, and I've forwarded that, and we've all gotten that, I think, information.
Are you talking about workforce?
Blue ribbon, well, no, the workforce was brought into that. And I don't know, I sent a message to both senators and both delegates to find out what their take was, and they suggested we call the governor's office and talk to his representative and find out why, and I've got the email here, why the change and why the representation on the workforce development around the state is centered with people who are from Charleston. And no input, for example, from county commissioners on that. And so I'm not sure that I would give that a blue ribbon, maybe a white ribbon, that what 4-H, one that white.
Yeah, I know they're having that workforce
Yeah.
development meeting. For
Samantha's
a call.
Aren't you?
No, I am
Workforce,
now.
or you
I
are?
am now. The presidents of each,
Oh,
that's what we.
so you know more about it than I do. I just,
All I know is there's some discussion because they're changing the way the makeup of it was. And it was like, in fact, the director, Miss Larry, was one of the people selected to be on that committee. She's one of the few workforce executive directors. I think there's only 2 of them in the state, and she was one of them that was on it. And she and the board took some exception. Actually, she wasn't the only one. All of the different workforce boards took some exception in the way they were realigning it to make it more focused on. They were changing the way the job training aspect of it is the main thing. They were taking some of the emphasis away from, transitioning, hands-on skill type stuff to more focusing on the colleges. And that was where the problem was, because they weren't really looking at what the workforce requirement was for the regions. They
I've
were
got it
trying
here.
to drag it up there, so that's what the problem was.
some of the things that they're concerned with, that prompted the formation of the Blue Ribbon Task Force. One of them would be the members actually, did they visit out into the state, one-stop centers, and local workforce development boards? Why are there no county commissioners, local board members, local labor, trades union representatives, and business leaders outside of the Charleston area serving on this task force? Keep in mind that 78% of the task force subcommittee membership consists of state government employees. So that's where the representation is state government. For the sake of transparency, why isn't Blue Ribbon Task Force and its subcommittees fully adhering to the sunshine laws with regard to their meetings scheduled and held these past few months? So those sound like legitimate questions on something that is really important, the workforce development and training and all those things. That's huge. That would be a problem. So Senator Seipel did tell me that he was going to go to his advisory committee, people who provide information, and he said he wasn't real familiar with this report. So, and he would get that information and get back to us. In the meantime, I guess it would be suggested that we call Ann Erling at the governor's office and at least say we have questions about this based on this
I think
information.
it's important to note that the people that are serving on these committees are the areas that are thriving. And so if we want to continue to just be an afterthought, then keep doing what we're doing. If not, then whoever is charged with serving on the committee, you need to get up and get your hands in the air and get some attention in our direction. So if it means switching up how
We need to be more involved so we can follow this, because if they're not following, if nothing else, they're not following sunshine law with their meetings, then of course they're gonna have 78% from Charleston and state government employees involved, and we're gonna wonder what happened to us. So I would suggest that we start with a call to Ann. And I would suggest that our commission president, who's representing the workforce, would be the one that makes the call and ask what the heck is going on, if you would.
Well, I think it's very important to note that, I'm not sure if it's Miss or Mrs. Larry, who is,
Maria Larry.
who is your workforce, has been extremely vocal
She has.
about,
She has been
her
very, very
concerns.
vocal.
And it's not doing any good.
Perhaps need
So,
to-
you know,
More support.
so anyway, I guess,
Well, I know.
you know, since Dawn's a
Well, I
representative,
know the workforce board here actually wrote a letter of support for Miss Larry's concerns. And
Right.
basically, so we had the exact same concerns, because when she explained to us the different things, well, actually, she sent the email out, and then the email response, she sent an email to them, and then she got a pretty nasty response back. And, and sent forward that to all of us, so we could look at it, and it was, they were kind of basically saying, okay, you're on this, but we don't want your opinion, is basically what it boiled down to.
well, here's what they said.
And,
Yeah, she said, we also wanted a chance to point out to the governor and the task force members how some of the changes being discussed and proposed would negatively affect residents and businesses and
Right.
employers in our state. But we were denied a meeting.
right.
So they wouldn't even meet with them to hear the
And it
concerns.
basically just said, we named you this committee, but we really don't want to hear from you. Basically what it boiled down to.
So I just, I think we need to ruffle some feathers on this one, because it's not their workforce development program, it's ours. And that's a big deal. So anyway, that's all. My rant's over.
And we'll be back here on Thursday.
We're back here on Thursday at 9.
We'll convene the work session at 11 a.m. today.
Okay. So I can adjourn this meeting now if everybody's.
If the rant's over.
Yeah. All right, then I adjourn.
Thank you.
Meet everybody up at the county center in a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, he's home. He actually came home by ambulance the evening before Jack was buried. And I had made arrangements with Catholic Express to get him in his wheelchair to the funeral, or to the burial. He was in so much pain, he couldn't make the trip, so he's home. It was kind of crazy. We got him home, and then my sister calls the next day, and she's like, my mom was walking onto the porch, and the health